and then Jim.
Then open up for the players.
All right, we're now joined by Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski. We have student athletes Wendell Moore, Jeremy Roach, and also Mark Williams. We're going to ask Coach for an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, well, we got the game we expected. You know, Jim's program, he's got a program for almost 5 decades. They have a lot of pride, and if you gave him 5 possessions during the year, you know, they'd be an NCAA tournament team right now. They've just lost some incredibly tough games, and his teams always play with great confidence. They did today, great verve, and I knew Jimmy would pick up for Buddy. They're a great family, and so I thought we started the game well, then fell in love with the three-point shot, and thought it was going to be easier, and they got momentum. We started fouling, and they saw the ball go in a lot, and then it was a hell of a game. And I'm proud of my guys for especially executing down the stretch. Wendell really led us. I thought it was Mark's best half in the second half this year. And the guy who really turned it around for us was Jeremy. Jeremy had a sensational game. A few people, you know, our programs got hit with a little bit of food poisoning and or whatever, bug. But AJ, you know, we weren't sure if he was going to play. He tried to play. He was thrown up, and Chris Carroll and I were thrown up all day yesterday, and so I know that's pleasant to talk about. Would you like to talk about that more? And so we're hoping it's not a bug that goes through the team, but a few of the kids are not up to par, and hopefully by tomorrow we'll be in a lot better shape. So if you want to ask any questions of our team, please do.
If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. We're going to start front left with Dan.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned how you were very proud of the way that your team executed down the stretch. You've said they've become an older team the last couple of weeks. Is that an example of that, going on a 10-0 run to close out the game and to advance to the next round?
Yeah, I think everyone stepped up, and started with Wendell hitting the 2 free throws. So, I mean, you can't practice those things. So for tomorrow, if we get a chance to play the next day, but especially for next week, being in those situations really helps us. You know, helps us a lot.
We're going to go to the front right.
This question is for the players. When Syracuse hit that 3, I think, to go up before you guys went on that 10-0 run, what's going through your mind? Is there pressure involved, or what's going through your mind in that moment?
Mark, can you start us off with that one?
Yeah. Obviously versus North Carolina, you know, we got that feeling of, you know, defeat, knowing there's not a second chance, you know, to play in Cameron again. So I think for me personally, that was what was going through my mind. You know, if we lose that game, we're done. Like, we're not playing in the ACC tournament again. So honestly, that was probably the biggest thing, just, you know, surviving and advancing.
We're going to go back to the right side of the room.
Coach, and what could have been your last matchup
Yeah,
against?
you want to just do the players first?
Yep.
And then I'll come back to you
Okay.
right away.
Thank
All
you.
right, all right.
So if you have a question for the players, we're going to do the players first, and then we'll take questions for Coach at the end. We're going to go to the left here to Dan.
I had one for Coach. I can wait too.
The row right behind you then.
Hey, Wendell, this question's for you. You know, you being a captain this year, anything special that you said to the guys today to spark that run, or is there anything that stands out as kind of that moment that fueled the 10-0 run?
No, I'd probably say just when we came back out, what was that, like the under 4 timeout, we kind of just all had a look in our eyes that we're going to get this done. We came together in our huddle, and everybody knew what we were doing for probably the next 2 possessions. So we want to get 3 stops and 3 scores, so everybody knew what we were doing on the offensive end. And really, we just mattered just getting stops on defensive end. So that look I saw in everybody's eyes was just looked like we're not losing this game.
We're going to go to the right side of the room.
Mark, for you, you just mentioned recalling the North Carolina game. How important for you was it to kind of take what you guys learned from that game and apply it to this one, especially when it came down so close, so late in the game?
I think it was pretty important. We had to learn from that game, but at the same time, we had to move on. We can't really, harp on that game too much because then you're playing mind games with yourself or, thinking, what if this happens, what if that happens? I think you just had to go out there, play your game, be confident, go out there and win the game, and that's what we did.
Back to the middle of the room here.
Hey, Mark, at the end of the game, Paulo put his arm around you as you're walking to the free throw line. Did he say anything to you? It almost looked like he was like, thanks, man.
Nah, it was just like, way to play. I was just like, yeah, on to the next one. It's just got to take it one day at a time and go from there.
We're going to go to Connor on the front.
Jeremy, you've had a few games here lately where you've really picked up the scoring. What's been feeling good for you in the flow of these games?
Just staying confident. Just staying confident out there. The coaches and all the players have the biggest confidence in me, and that's really just the biggest thing: staying confident, staying consistent.
We're going to go to the front row in the middle.
Yeah, three of their players played every minute of the game, never came off the court. And you guys did kick up your defense intensity at the end of the game. Did you sense that they were getting worn down? Jimmy Boeheim was 6 for 7 from 3 and ended up 6 for 9. Did you feel that your intensity hurt them?
Wendell, can you take that question for us?
Yeah, I actually think it did a little bit, honestly. Because we were able to get stops and we were able to run. Excuse me, force him to run with us. So a couple of those times you just see Arkham one where Trevor's kind of running side by side with the defender and he just beat him down the floor. Maybe it attributes to them being tired. Maybe it attributes to Trev just running faster. But really I kind of felt like really definitely down at the end of the game. I really like their legs were getting tired, our bodies were getting tired. So it just opened up a couple more easier things for us.
We're going to go to the right side of the room.
Yeah, Mark, I'm curious what the defensive strategy was on Jimmy Boeheim today, and how would you assess the way he played?
Yeah, he definitely played a hell of a game today. Was shooting the ball really well. For him, it was, obviously with Buddy out, he was gonna, take more shots, be more aggressive out there, and he did that. And I think especially towards the end of the game, we really shut him out. Made all his shots, tough shots. Obviously made some, but we did enough to win. So I think we did a good job on him.
Yeah, Jimmy going into the game was 0 for 7 the last 3 games from 3, and so he played like a big-time player today, and he is a big-time player. He had a sensational performance, not a good one, a sensational performance.
We're going to go to the left side of the room.
This one's for Jeremy. On that 3 that you hit with a minute to go, can you just talk a little bit about the trust that Wendell has you? He found you on the wing there. Can you just talk about a little bit about the trust that he has in you to find you for that shot?
Like I said before, the coaches and the players have all the confidence in me. I was hot at that point, obviously, but he has all the trust in me to make that shot, and I have all the trust in him. If it was vice versa, I'd do the same thing. So.
We're going to go to the back right of the room.
Mark, in your first 2 meetings against Syracuse, you had 2 big games. It was clear that you were going to be a focal point for them defensively going into this game. They threw 1-3-1 at you. They threw man at you. Later in the game, they threw the 2-3 at you. Struggled a little bit in the first half getting shots, really. And then in the second half, you broke through. How did that come about for you?
Obviously, it felt great. I think my teammates did a great job finding me, in certain spots. Obviously in the first half, I don't think I scored, but we were doing different things to get a lot of points. So still credit to them. And then obviously in the second half, we were flowing, playing inside out, and got the win, which is honestly the most important thing.
his coach played defense on him. I didn't get him the ball. And my staff at halftime said, I think we should get Mark the ball. So that was a great suggestion.
And our last question for the student athletes will come from the left side of the room.
Mark, just given the circumstances, there's obviously been a lot written about your coach as a source of motivation for you guys winning in this postseason. But how much do you want to win for each other, since this is your one and maybe last chance together as a group collectively?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's the most.
Yeah, it's the most. You know, obviously we won't get this squad of 14 back. You know, we have one opportunity to do that, and it can be taken away in one game. So obviously for us, it's probably the biggest thing. Obviously, you know, with coach as well, just sort of the combination of all those things is huge for us to, you know, win every game we play from here on out.
We'll now excuse the student athletes and then take a few more questions for Coach.
All right. Please.
Please raise your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. We'll start here to the right of the room.
Coach, in what could have been your last matchup against Coach Boeheim today, looking back at the relationship you share with him, what are the emotions walking away from today's win just going through your head right now?
Well, we're the best friends. I don't know if there's anybody in coaching that could be better friends with another coach in his profession than me and Jim. I mean, and that comes way before USA basketball with P.J. Carlesimo and Mike Fratello. The four of us were like brothers. And then the 11 years with the U.S. team. I mean, we grew up. We saw Buddy and Jimmy and grow up. My two older grandsons are best friends with them. You know, so you know, they're like family. Mickey, my wife Mickey, and Julie they text and call all the time. So there's nobody except a former player that I cheer for more than Jim. So it's tough playing against him, and we're fortunate to win today. But his team did him proud, and his team did him proud.
We're going to go to the front left.
Coach, going off of that, just what you can say about the fact that you have been friends for all these years, but being in the same conference for almost a decade now and being able to have these matchups, and then a little bit more about Buddy and Jimmy and just how they've evolved before your eyes.
Yeah, well, the addition of Syracuse to the ACC was, you know, an amazing addition. You know, not just the school, but the program, especially the basketball program. It elevated our conference. And for a while there, you know, you have Hall of Fame coaches. We're all leaving. Jim's not, but you know, to have him come in just adds a level of prestige and also accomplishment. I mean, Buddy's the leading scorer in our league, so for them not to have him today, I wish what happened yesterday was adjudicated during the game, where if that's going to be called, I'm not saying it shouldn't be called, you know, where you're punished during the game, and that's the way it would normally be done, you know, in the regular season. So I thought that was unfortunate, but Buddy's been great, and for Jimmy to come from Cornell and play, and I mean, he had a spectacular game today, not a good one. How good is that for a father to be able to coach your two sons? You know, they have an amazing relationship. They're a great family, and I wish there was some way they could get into postseason. Because, yeah, I think actually they can beat anybody in our league when they have when Buddy's playing. And they didn't play well in the two games before us, but they played great tonight. But really, they've lost heartbreakers, you know, including their last one against Miami and Carolina. You know, they're right there. They're right there, but it doesn't translate. They're 16 and 17. And I feel bad. I wish there was some way they could still play.
We're going to go to the middle of the room.
Congrats on the win, Coach. You guys scored 88 points. You obviously played well offensively, but I'm curious how happy you were with the shot selection today and moving forward, what you think your group can do even better on that end of the floor.
No, the shot selection was fine. We missed open threes in the first half, but then when you're missing, you have to drive or get fouled or find another way to score, and we didn't do that. We're not playing very good defense right now. We did not against North Carolina, and we did not in this game, and we're missing a lot of assignments, and we fouled a lot of three-point shooters. I mean, we fouled at least 3 today, and you just can't do that. And so we can improve definitely in that on that end of the court. The offensive side of the court, we're fine. We had 24 assists and 9 turnovers, shared the ball well. But on defense, we got to play better.
And our last question will come from Mike on the right side of the room here.
Mike, you touched on it in your previous answer, but I was wondering what your thoughts were on the decision to suspend Buddy today.
Yeah, well, I think once it passed the point of no return, the game, then they had to do whatever they have to do. I'm just saying that I was surprised that it was not reviewed during the game. And then if it was reviewed during the game, he actually got a harsher punishment than somebody who would have done that in a game. And so that's unfortunate that occurred. But I don't fault anybody for their judgment. I just wish that it would have done in the confines of the game. And once it gets outside of the game, then the punishment has to be outside the game. And that was very unfortunate. Okay? All right, thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Coach.